Welcome to Giving Tuesday for the Decorah North Nest. The North Nesters, hello, and others. Um, Welcome to our Giving Tuesday chat. So if you're watching this live or if you're watching this after the fact, um, thanks so much for being Eagle fans, Eagle ambassadors, watching the Decorah Eagles. Especially this nest, has become more special just because Mom and DM2 are taking a break, right?
Well, and the North Nest is so beautiful too. I mean, there's
Yeah,
just so
they're
much to love
different,
about the whole
right?
area.
They're different. So we really have come to enjoy, as even from the beginning, just all the differences of the North Nest. But welcome here, and I guess we're here on Giving Tuesday to talk about uh, fundraising and support of Raptor Resource Project and the programs that we do. A huge part of our program that we just talked about is our peregrine falcon monitoring program, which is the oldest and the most historic and part of our mission and project that we do, that was started by Bob Anderson. The assistance and amazing work in bringing the peregrine falcon back to the historic Ries of the Mississippi
Yeah.
River Valley. So um, that's a huge part of our mission. And then the surprise and the great years and just the growth of using bald eagles as an education tool
Yes.
and an enjoyment tool, with the core eagles, starting off of American Eagle with Bob and Neil, and then going viral and really kind of changing the face of nature cams in
Yep.
2011, and a
100%.
model for using them as education. So, and our moderators and teachers and a lot of you fans out there have been with us that whole time. So, and for all the new folks, thanks for all your support over the years. So I guess right off, I'm just going to talk over this, but I'm going to just show our calendar. We are working on the 2022 calendars for the Decorah North Eagles too, but we'll have them for Great Spirit Bluff Falcons, the Flyway Decorah Eagles, and the Decorah North Eagles. So we do have calendars. It's a great way that we do fundraising. So you're seeing the cover there of the Decorah North Eagle calendar. I'm just going to take that down. Robin also has a calendar that portion of the proceeds are coming to Raptor Resource Project. So I know she's already put her calendar out there, which is beautiful, showing the Decorah Eagles. So anyway, um,
And just real quick, it's fun to see all you guys on chat. I can see you at chatting while we're doing this. So hello to everybody who's saying hi, and thank you for letting us know you can hear us. We really
yeah,
appreciate that.
right. And if you've got questions, just queue them up here and the mods can let us know. We'll have some time here at the end for Q&A. So I know you guys have lots of questions, so we'd like to answer those if we can.
Maybe
So,
start with a recap of the year.
yeah. So recap of the year, I guess probably watching and working over some footage. I think one of the things I want to say is a huge part of the Decorah Eagle education program is showing the intimate details and lives of bald eagles. And that started out with American Eagle with Neil Reddick and Bob Anderson with that nature movie. I was working a lot last year taking highlights from our videos and the year before for what just came out this year, which was started out with the BBC Superpowered Eagles, and that the American version of that on PBS Nova was Eagle Power.
Yeah, yeah.
So seeing the Eagles and doing that, this equipment that allows us to collect 4K footage now, which is what is wanted and needed for these movies. A part of what we use funds for here is collecting top quality footage that can be used in educational movies and doing that. So long story short, it's a great way of supporting us, helping us getting that education message out and letting people learn about eagles over the last decade,
Right.
more than last decade, over a decade, and continuing on here. So first big part of the year that I remember at the North Nest was the two snowstorms. And
Yes.
um, I can't remember exactly what year it was. I think it was 2018 because that was the year that we lost Dad Decorah. It was the year that we had the offset double clutch. And we had a huge
Yes.
snowstorm of over a foot of snow in the nest that did not collapse, the original nest. And it was just incredibly amazing to see how an eagle can incubate eggs through a foot of snow
Oh, absolutely.
and do it successfully. And that first happened that year in 2018. We got some amazing footage. And then last year, the year before that, we had, this last year, we had the footage of the two snowstorms where it was really duplicated. And with our cameras, we were able to catch some of that footage in HD 4K.
Yeah, it was
Um,
unbelievable.
so I was amazed, just not just one snowstorm event like that, but two, where Mr. North and DNF persevered. They showed us, how well of a connection that brood patch has, with those eggs and the good insulation. Usually they're just trying to keep up with the snowstorms by putting that fluffy grass material and softer, more insulative material in that inner nest cup, and then a snowstorm will come, and then they'll bring more in.
Right.
And it's amazing with that tiramisu of snow and incubate nesting materials that help incubation, um, you know, how that works.
Yeah, absolutely.
They've shown us, year after year, even the Decorah Eagles, that it does work.
If-
They can do it.
Trust the Eagles, trust the Eagles, but sometimes it's hard.
It's hard, yeah. Even for us, sometimes we have our doubts, but usually they come through. So that's the big part that I remember. It was really neat to watch a successful hatching with the two eggs.
Oh yeah.
Just what a season with the N13 and 14, and I love watching them hover, when they were getting ready to fledge. We had some wind events, some pretty windy days there where I think, I can't remember which eaglet it was over off of the main
Yeah, kind of over
nest,
on the
and
porch.
we were getting some gusts coming, and the pre-flights looked like they could have gone
To
the
full
wrong
flight.
the wrong way. So,
Well, and then the first flight,
yeah,
I guess the second one too, but it was so classic after all our worries. It's like, what's gonna happen? Are they gonna get blown off the nest? And then there's just this kind of confident
yeah,
fly
yeah,
away from the nest. It was
yeah.
great.
It was a very enjoyable season to watch, and
Did you
um,
ever wonder if DN14 was actually gonna fledge? Because I know I was
yeah.
like by day 81, it's like, what's going on here? Come on.
Right, right. And we pretty much guessed what sex DN14 was
By yeah, I mean,
by
obviously we
staying
can't do
longer,
a
and
formal, but
right,
yeah, at 83 days and with sort of everything that went on.
right. So, and I think, one of the things that comes to mind is just because it's been so much of a issue in the last couple of years, is a big part that I really enjoyed was not seeing a black
Oh my God, yes.
not seeing the black flies, and um, just the everyday beauty of watching a bald eagle bring in fresh trout and feeding it to its young, or just getting some reserves put in before the cold months here,
Yeah,
before and then even after the fledge. We got to see so much uh, good connection between the young and Mr. North and DNF. It was great to watch. It was a
it was
great
really
eagle
fun.
watching season, and we did not get to see as much of our eagles at the fish hatchery. So it was
A lot
really
of fun to watch.
neat to get to see more of the North Nesters. So
I like the North Nest neighbors too, and that to me, like the way the camera operators are always able to find, maybe the eagles aren't in sight, but we can look at cardinals or goldfinches
yeah,
or sparrows
right.
or other eagles or cows. That to me is like
Yeah,
a really fun thing to
yeah.
watch.
There's a food source there, and we learned some stuff. I'm not going to tell all the details, but there is a relationship between eagles and um, mothering cattle. And the eagles have a tendency to kind of watch that, and they're watching for food. And you guys know what the cow get eat.
That what they like to eat. It doesn't run away. It's really easy to catch.
Yeah, so when the cattle are done with their process, there's always a gift left over for the eagles and their young, if the young are of eating age and not gone, and that's usually the way it is. Um, the white-tailed deer, the possums, carrying a bundle of leaves behind in their
That was
tail.
fascinating.
Did I mention the coyotes, the raccoons? We do see and obviously the squirrels who have caused troubles for us at this nest by chewing on equipment in the past. But I think that with our cages put around the microphones
Yep.
and the camera mounts that we've beat the squirrels for now.
Well, maybe we should talk a little bit about the challenges of working. Because
Yeah,
again, like we're
yeah,
not going to talk about where this site is, but I can tell you it's not a mile away from a hardware store in either direction on like
right,
Decorah, and it's a
right.
really interesting place to try to work.
Right. So each year we spend a significant effort in both equipment costs and materials costs, and then also just time and materials for us to get out there and do this. We take the whole month of September just to do field work at the Eagle Nests. And then there's a whole month of pretty intense work just ordering all the materials and getting things ready for that. When you think about what you're donating to when you donate to the Raptor Resource Project. A big chunk of that goes towards our Eagle education and enjoyment streams and programs. And so,
Well, when we talk about the climbing and camera placements, and all three of us do that, but you got to see John and Mad Scientist flailing away in a shed trying to get everything ready. Because that's the other thing. Like when you think about the cameras, they don't just come ready for the tree, right?
no,
There's
no.
so much work.
We've learned a lot over the years how to waterproof connections. Um, I have to say that, again, it's a knock on wood saying here while I'm saying this, but the audio systems that we have, we don't get the delays like we used to, where the audio was not in sync with the video, and they're very reliable. The audio quality is amazing. We hear labor pains and chirping of female eagles. We can hear it when they slice. And
Yeah,
what is it when they slice, Amy? Does everyone know the term slice? It's not golfing.
better than golfing. No, that's true though. You
Yeah,
can hear
it
it.
sounds something like that when they launch their poop chute. And there's a difference in the sound when they're only 2 days old, 3 days old. It's
Yeah,
versus
the larger and healthier splat, not healthier,
we
the
can tell
larger
that.
splats
We can tell
of the
that
bigger
with the
eagle.
quality of the microphone. So we've learned over the years, and what Amy says is it's a challenge. It's also very enjoyable to get good equipment up, and we've learned over the years how to do it and get good, reliable equipment. And we've got backups. We typically at most of the nests, the cameras are pulled back. We still are quite careful about any new eagle nests or any others where um, we don't have as much exposure of eagles, and it's just a precautionary thing. We usually don't even pan the cameras, and sometimes don't even turn them on until the eagles are already committed to the nest and have laid eggs. So if there's any chance of any effects of that, we camo them. We've been watching for over 10 years now, so we really it's pretty easy to tell, what eagles are concerned about. The placement, far enough away from the nest, the camouflage, those are just two of the big things. And just we found out over the years that it really they don't look at them as a threat.
Right, right.
It's not a predator. Um, Noises like sounds that might sound like an owl going cluck, 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 any clicking noise, that's like an owl, Those are the kind of things that they pay attention to. So, so the equipment and the time to put things up, it does. And remember, 2018, this nest came down. This is one of our ongoing eagle experiments.
Yes, this is an ongoing Eagle
So
experiment.
we, both Amy and with engineering support from me and Amy and Kike up in the nest,
Yep.
deploying and doing an excellent job of that. We had DNF come snatch the first trout out of the nest that we put there in the fall of 2018. So she's been through 2019, 2020, 23 seasons
Yeah.
now. So we're going into our fourth season
Yeah.
with our not so new female, Decorah North female, DNF, and Mr. North. Um, so we talk about deploying the cameras. We talk about maintaining the nest, rebuilding the nest.
Rebuilding the nest.
One thing that I have to mention is just the great partners that we work, the landowners, with the landowners, and they're donating in a lot of ways. They're donating, working with us, and they're donating, I guess sharing their property, sharing the wildlife
Yep.
and the mystery of the eagle life cycle and the nature that's there. So thanks so much to them and their donation of that to the landowners at all of our sites. That's a big deal.
Agreed.
So
So what was a favorite like North moment of yours or North like anything that really stands out for you?
so the snowstorms and that double repeating of almost a foot of snow. I think it was about 9 inches the first time,
It was
and it
bad.
was close to 8 or 10. The incubation and just that first when those eggs started pipping, and when they actually hatched, and I realized that we had two successful young
Yes,
eaglets. That was
we did
probably
it.
that was just the awe of nature and the awe of the hardiness of these bald eagles. It's just crazy how well built they are for these harsh winter uh, climate regimes up here in Minnesota and Iowa and everything else. It's in Wisconsin, in our Midwest area here.
Yeah.
So, how about you?
I I kind of, like same as you, like what do you pick out for one thing? But I think my favorite thing was getting to watch DN13 and DN14, two eaglets finally fledged together. It was so much fun to see DN13 go and then wonder
Right,
like what's going to happen with
right.
DN14. And then we got to watch them as they widened
Yeah,
their
yeah,
explorations, as they caught things, as they
yeah,
perched out, as they chased their parents. I just thought like seeing them learn about life beyond the
yeah,
nest was a
yeah.
blast.
It what we get to see after they fledge, especially at the North Nest over by the creek,
Yeah.
and they're fishing and watching the parents train the young, and that is something that really just reminds me of what a great idea it was to put that pasture cam in,
Oh
and
yeah,
to be able to see
completely.
that, and placing those. So we've got that window into the post fledge and what's going on.
Yeah,
Um,
and that's something we really can't see even with the nice
right,
hatchery cam. Even before
right,
we couldn't see that in Decorah because the
right.
area is so much more uh, urbanized. Maybe is not quite the right word, but it's
Yeah,
certainly not as rural and wild as the North
right,
Nest.
right. So, when there's some interesting, I guess concerning things too. Um, we're our eagles, we know, like eagles like osprey as a food
Yeah,
source. They're predators. Uh, Eagles will predate on young osprey. They'll predate on young
red-tailed
red-tailed
hawks.
hawks,
Yep.
and that specifically was the case at the nest this year. We got to see that, even though it's something that we don't necessarily want to watch.
Nobody enjoyed that.
No. Um, Interestingly, just brought up a good point in the differing life cycles, the offset of the hawks with the hawklets being brought up there while they're much younger than the eagles. The older eagles that were looking at the young hawklet as a food source. Um, in another case where there was a successful hatching and raising, or not hatching, but a raising and a fledge of a hawk in an eagle nest, they were much closer in their life cycle age.
Right.
So that's what allowed that to happen. We were kind of hoping there for a
We
while that
really
that might
were.
happen. Could we see some
Yeah, that would
eagles,
be
Decorah
amazing.
eagles, raising some baby hawks to fledge? But that was probably the
The
critical
stage of
reason
development was just too
why
different.
it did not work out. We dodged a bullet, but we also learned some really good stewardship where we had some fishing line, and we had some sinkers and a hook come up into the nest, and one of the eaglets, I can't remember which one it was, I'm sure others will remember this, got tangled up and almost probably did swallow the line, not probably the hook. But we did retrieve that. Amy retrieved that
Yeah.
out of the nest. We looked at it. It was non-lead split shot sinkers. They're probably um, let's see,
Bismuth, I think you
bismuth.
thought?
Yeah, I think their bismuth is one of the metals that are used for non-lead shots. So hats off to the fishermen in the area that have made that switch over from lead tackle to non-lead. So good job.
John, you should get the little friends to show
Oh,
Howie, center
yeah.
the cameras. And
So
while John's doing that, I see some of your questions and comments, and when we're done talking here, I'll go ahead and jump on the chat and
yeah.
answer them as we talk.
So off season, used to do a lot of work with Bob, and Bob used to use some target for, I guess these would be targets for focusing
Yep,
cameras and
yep.
nest boxes and getting, here's a peregrine falcon stuffed toy. It's a special one. Bob gave this to my daughter Laura when we were down there in 2015 after the fledge, but we've got our peregrine falcon, we've got our turkey vulture. Hello, hello. We've got our eagle. So just a message about the off season is camera prep time, and I'm actually in the process of testing cameras right now, probably possibly deploying 2 more cameras in the next month. So all the donations that you guys donate to the Raptor Resource Project definitely are going, they go to a good cause. And we did want to talk about just, we are surprised by the generosity every once in a while. It's usually not necessarily planned events, but folks have left Raptor Resource Project some pretty significant bequests. And that takes some time and some forethought and some just, I don't know, financial stewardship of how you want to make a difference. There's a lot of folks who've watched the Decorah Eagles over the years, you know, whether it might be from a hospital bed, whether it might be from an old folks home or with one of their parents or family members, or through whatever, in a classroom, a teacher, you know, teaching students with them and parents seeing that. Folks, when they look at the possibility to help donate, we've got some significant bequests over the last couple of years, and we're so thankful for that when it happens. We've got about a $300,000 a year budget, a little bit over that, and we get some great financial support from Explore, Annenberg, and some others. Um, but most of it is just donations from, you know, viewers like you. So
We really, really
we
appreciate
really
it.
appreciate that. And so give what you can, and we really appreciate it. And if you want to plan ahead and make a big difference and give some kind of legacy giving, that's the kind of thing that I'm talking about. And really, I want to just say how thankful we are for that. Some
And
of
on the
our,
topic of legacy, I think we should also bring up Bremer Bird Fan. You guys,
definitely,
obviously
yep,
remember Bremer. It was
yep,
shock and a very sad thing for all of us. So,
right,
we talked about the year of wonderment. That was a phrase of Bremer, and really it was a year of wonderment at the North Nest.
yes, yes. Um, we miss her already, and it'll be a different year without her on moderation. But again, that brings up the whole issue of thanking the time and treasure of your own valuable time that our volunteers give to Raptor Resource Project. And I guess you're helping them to help.
Yeah.
when you help us with our programs. So um,
No,
uh,
the Eagle family is like any other
we've
family, but we're here and we're stronger together. I mean,
we've
I know
got
that's a cliche now, but it's true.
we've got some testimonials that we've got as we're working on our newsletter here, which should be out in a week or so, along with the calendars. But and I can attest to this, being a former cam operator coming up the ranks, just seeing those shots, zooming in, seeing that the broadcast is actually going, and you've got an internet connection, and that thousands of people are getting to see, what you are curating for them. You're basically an armchair cinematographer, our cam operators and our moderators, and just the joy that it brings them to experience it themselves and then know that they're sharing it with all of you. That's something that I think all our volunteers, that's what drives them to want to volunteer and to do that work. So
100%.
um,
And I see everybody making comments, so thank
yeah,
you again for
so
being here. If you guys have questions for us, if I see them come up in the comments, I'll answer them now, or I'll just hop on the chat when we're done.
yeah, so again, thanks to the landowners, thanks to our volunteers, moderators, cam operators, watchers. We learn a lot from just the chats and everything from you folks that are watching and helping us document what's going on here. We get some great science. Sherry in the past, especially at this nest, and Smitha and others helping document what we are seeing here and the actual science of, targeting and recording all of the meals, and whether it's mammal or fish species or other.
Other. I got to
um,
break in here real quick. River Eagle, thank you. I saw what you said, so just thank you. And to the rest of the moderating team too.
yes, I'll second that.
Sounds good.
All right. Um, so I guess looking at the time here, it's about a half an hour in, so we can entertain some questions here. Um, how are we doing with anything that has come up here? We're going to just scroll back and chat a little
I
bit to see.
saw that CB mentioned that one of their favorite memories is DNF and Mr. North working together to get the heavy nutrient-rich cow placenta up to the nest, which I had forgotten about, but we actually saw some
Oh yeah,
pretty good footage of the eagles
yeah,
just carrying massively heavy things up to
yeah,
the nest this
yeah,
year.
right, right. Wasn't there, I'm trying to remember what it was that it seemed like they had a hard time getting it up, if it was a larger
I want to see,
raccoon
yes, there was a
or
raccoon too. And it
some,
was hot, which makes it even harder for them.
yeah, yep, yep, definitely. Um, okay, any other questions?
I'm not seeing anything right now, so I think what we're going to do is say goodbye and get ready for the chat over in Decorah at 1. But I'm going to stay on the chat here, so if anything pops up or if you guys have any questions or whatever,